Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Excellency Kiai Haji Muhammad Hasan Mutawakil Allah SHMM, my respected Dr. Abdul Aziz Wahab BAMAG, and unforgettable to Mr. Zainuddin as the lecturer of speaking class. And before let me introduce myself, my name is Nafis Daris Salama, student of English Education Department of Zainul Hasan Islamic University. And now I will tell you about method of speech presentations. Okay, types of speech presentations. The first type is memorizing method. Memorizing method is reciting your speech out loudly isn't the only way to memorize it. You can also write it down. The practice of writing help the encoding in the brain more deeply. Pick one section of your speech and write it word for word a few times during the week. Okay, the strength of this method is smoothly delivered if completely memorized. The second, you do not make mistake of the script, it completely mastered. And the last is the eyes of the speaker can look at the listener. Okay, for the weakness, speaker tend to speak quickly without appreciations, and the next cannot adjust to the situations and the reaction of the listener. And the next, if you forget one of his speech, will fail. Okay, the second method is manuscript method. This method is the word for word alliterations of a written message in a manuscript speech. The speaker maintains his or her attentions on the print page except when using visual aid. And the advantage of reading from a manuscript is the exact repetitions of original word. Okay, for the strength of this method is all the speaker wishes will be expressed smoothly, no repetitions of chores, and the series of ideas from beginning to the end is not forgotten. The next is manuscript making from beginning to the end is not forgotten. Scripting is suitable for novice speaker, and for the weakness of this method is less communicative because the speaker only briefly look at the listener. There is an impression that the delivery of the script feels stiff even without appreciations. And the next does not adjust to the situation and listener reaction, and it's also no interest. And the next method is spontaneity method is that you don't always have the luxury of preparing your speech. Spontaneous speaking, that is speaking without notes or preparations, is something most of us face on a regular basis. And the further strength of this method, the first, sometimes it feels faster. This method is more interesting if the delivery uses a lot of improvisation. And for the weakness of this method is that the first is not fluent, or it can even be great if it in a novice speaker, and the syndrome or etc. And the next is you may fail miserably, you may be speechless, you may be not able to continue. And the last method is outline method. Outline method is an outline or structural guidance for writing and organizing your speech after completing your topic selection and initial research. Begin writing your outline with your organizational pattern in mind. And there are two types of outlines: preparations outline and speaking outlines. For the strength of this method is the of the, the main point of the speech are not forgotten, and the delivery of the speech is unforgettable. The delivery of the speech is organized, and the last is the possibility of error is small and communicative. And for the weakness, the first, Hands are less free due to holding paper, and the next is impressions of preparations because they often look at that note. Okay, that's all from me. Sorry for all mistakes. And last I say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.